Have you ever thought about the written language for boxing? It's been a little over a year since I started training at a boxing gym. In this series, I will consider the inconveniences and questions I have had about boxing and propose theories about boxing tactics and strategies. In the gym, during MIT training sessions, your coach instructs you on a variety of combinations and you respond with immediate punches. However, I've been considering the importance of memorizing these learned combinations for later review to enhance my understanding and proficiency. So when you try to write it down in your notes, it might look like jab, cross. If you made a rule like jab is 1, cross is 2, you would write it down like 1, 2. However, the 1-2 movement also involves elements of rhythm and steps, so this is not a good way to record it. Or you may suddenly come up with a combination that you would like to try in your next sparring session. You would imagine it in your head like do this and then this, but sometimes you can't remember it later. The only way to keep information about these boxing moves in your head so you don't forget them is to actually do them or in your mind and repeat them. This is so primitive. If humans had not invented writing, they would not be able to write books and accumulate useful knowledge. Likewise, we cannot learn from books. So the only way to convey any knowledge is to communicate in front of people using spoken words. Also, because we have written language, we can apply achievements of information technology, such as machine learning, etc. In this way, the recording of knowledge in written form is an inseparable element from the development of civilization. So advanced civilization cannot be expected in a world without written words. If you look around the world of boxing, symbols to record movements are yet to be seen. This is a big hindrance when you want to explore boxing rationally. In boxing, it is often said that rhythm is important. Speaking of rhythm, you think of drums, and drummers have their own sheets, which is a repurposed musical score and assigns drum sounds to the score. For example, the position of the snare drum is determined by the position of C with the treble clef. In boxing, it seems possible to create its own sheet by assigning punches like musical notes to specific positions, similar to drum music sheets. The notes on the drum sheet are assigned from the top to cymbal high tom, low tom, and snare drum, etc. These are arranged in order of pitch being played. Therefore, when thinking about sheet boxing, we need some rules to consider the order based on the nature of the punches. Basically, the types of punches can be categorized into 3 types. Straight punch. This involves throwing a punch directly towards the opponent, aiming to impact them from the front. Hook punch. In this type of punch, the arms are shaped like a hook and rotational movements are used to deliver the impact from the side. Upper punch. This punch involves pushing up from below and delivering impact from a lower position. Let's position the straight punch, which is the most frequently used punch, including the jab, in the center of the staff, and then position the hook higher and the upper lower, as the hook moves higher than the upper. In short, try placing them in the order of hook, straight, and upper. In relation to application to kicking, which will be addressed in more detail later, punches were positioned higher on the staff. Consequently, the right straight punch is in the C position, and its appearance is satisfactory. Therefore, we can conclude that this arrangement is acceptable. Just as sheet music, we call this sheet boxing. Although boxing focuses on blows aimed at the head, attacks to the body are also an important element. Therefore, it is necessary to distinguish between blows to the head and blows to the body in the sheet boxing. Looking at the drum score again, we can see that different note heads are used to express different ways of striking a drum. Therefore, We will write them as follows. In sheet boxing, it is important to note that the target areas on the head may vary depending on the specific regions, such as the jaw and temple. The same applies to the body. However, similar to how musical scores do not provide all the details for performance, sheet boxing omits information regarding which part of the head to aim at. This omission is deliberate, as it is considered beyond the scope of notation. Depending on the specific purpose, it might be feasible to incorporate additional symbols in sheet boxing to offer more precise and detailed information about the target areas. With sheet boxing, you can now record the combinations you learn at the gym. For example, if it is a 1-2 hook, the score will look like this. If it's a body straight after a double jab, it will look like this. In this way, combinations can now be recorded using sheet boxing. Also, since we are using notes that are well suited for rhythmic expression, we would like to be able to express rhythmic differences in combinations as well. Therefore, when hitting a jab and 1-2 as Dan, 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 or Dan, Dardan, we will write them as follows. When I invented sheet boxing, I initially purchased sheet music notebooks. However, while music notebooks are designed to express long melodies, boxing doesn't involve memorizing dozens of consecutive punches. In that respect, sheet music notebooks are not very suitable for recording combinations. Also, you may want to write additional explanations next to the notation, but there is not enough space in the score notes to do so. Therefore, I purchased a sheet music stamp as a tool to create short musical scores. While the above tools are not good at drawing long staff in parallel, such as those used in music, they are suitable for drawing short staves to record very short phrases, such as boxing combinations. As a result, I discovered that using a roller stamp in conjunction with a blank notebook was the most effective method for managing sheet boxing.